we always want to win. You never want to disappoint your country. It's just something that means a lot to us.
It was embarrassing last year, and we want them to feel like we felt last year.
It's the biggest win of the year if we can pull it off.
The 888.com Weber Cup at the Barnsley Metrodome is back, and the USA have a small but significant lead. It is the event they call the Ryder Cup of 10-pin bowling, and it's already provided so much excitement. The USA took a big lead, then Europe fought back, and at the moment, USA lead by 2.
Last time, Weber Cup got back underway as Team Europe, captained by Mika Koivuniemi, looked determined to avenge their defeat last year, while Team USA weren't prepared to give up their lead in a bid to retain their title. The Baker match last time, however, saw a great performance from the Europeans. They were just one strike off a perfect game and kept their 100% record in the team matches. The singles game saw Dom Barrett and Chris Barnes go toe-to-toe, and the American was in form, taking the game with a score of 268 compared to Dom's 204, and the Americans took back their 2-point advantage. So confirmation of the scores, USA lead by 2. So often we've had tight, exciting matches in the Weber Cup, and this looks like it could go the same way. Coming up next, Dom Barrett and Chris Barnes will go toe-to-toe again. Then team captain Mika Koivuniemi will go up against Bill the Real Deal O'Neill. It's another exciting set of matches as Team Europe try to win back the Weber Cup.
So let's welcome them to the lane. First, representing Team Europe, it's Dom Barrett. And now representing Team USA, it's Chris Barnes. Well, a quick chat with the players then before we get underway. Chris is here, Dom's coming over as well. Come on, Dom. I need to chat to you first because you guys have just played on this lane. It's one of the quirks of the draw, perhaps, that you're playing each other again. How have you kind of regrouped in the few minutes between these two matches? How are you going to approach this?
You know, it's what we do in tournaments all the time. We play game after game. So, you know, I'm quite at home with this. Hopefully going to bowl a better score. So really my thoughts were just about ball motion, what I can do to get my ball to do the right thing and face up to the pocket the right way, and that's really all I've been thinking about for the last 5 minutes.
When you walked on there and when Chris Barnes was walking on, you went over to talk to your teammate Stuart, didn't you? What did he say to you? Was it, come on pal, you can do this? Or was it a little bit more about technique and the lane condition?
Very much about equipment choices and what I'm trying to do physically with my hand, all about the ball motion on the lane to try and get the best result.
Okay, Dom, stay there. Let's have a quick chat to Chris then. That was a morale-boosting win. You've got to do it all over again, though.
Yeah, we do, but there's a little bit of pressure off. If I lose, we're right back to where we started, and if I win, we go up by that 3-point margin, which is a tough one to overcome.
Chris and Dom, thanks very much indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, we're ready for our next match. Europe trail by 2. Can they fight back? Over to Cass Edwards and Andy Bodfish.
Chris Barnes against Dom Barrett again at Weber Cup 14. Dom Barrett from Cambridge. Lives in Colchester these days. Multiple EBT champion. Won his first title in the States at the 2012 Scorpion Open. Semi-finalist in Vienna last week. Starts with a strike.
Starts as he means to finish, Andy. Great looking shot there from Barrett. Slight change of line from the last game. Both players have had a couple of practice balls to sort their line out on this oiling pattern, which hasn't changed from before, hasn't been dressed. So any movement in the oil has been put down by these two guys. Barnes, 8 strikes in a row in the last game, and starts exactly the way Dom does, with the scores all level after frame 1.
Yeah, there's Chris Barnes' 28th strike in this edition of the Weber Cup.
Spot on, Andy. 2 spares, 2 opens as well. Hopefully you'll forget about those, and that number of strikes, as you know, a 300 game and a 268 singles game.
Well, you just mentioned it there, the spares and the strikes, destined to become mere footnotes if you win. Ooh, Dom won't be happy with that necessarily. He's left the 3, 6 and 10 right-hand side.
Yeah, such a contrast to the first shot, which was flush in the pocket. This one's just dived up at him, gone flush through the nose. Wrong reaction right in front of the pocket.
Makes the spare.
Yeah, chance for Barnes to take advantage of that spare and make a double in the Barnes-Barrett 2 show. And Dom's got 23 strikes, 11 spares and a couple of opens. It's the spares column there that he'll not be too happy about. Barnes looking for 2 in a row. Oh, no! Dear, oh dear. What an overreaction in the back end. The ball looked a little bit slower to me from where I'm sitting, but it got to the headpin and just snaps left. It's left the 4, 6 and the 7. Now watch this one. It's in the right place, right in the area, and what a reaction that is. Breaks nothing up. And this is more than likely going to be open frame. Number 3 for Barnes.
Tough one for Chris, this. Oh, he nearly got it. He nearly got that messenger. He knows it as well, but it is open. And it's back over to you, Dom.
Just giving it a shot. It's almost impossible, but it will go. And you can see the thinking behind it, and that is very, very close. Just needed a little tap, but it won't go. Open frame in the second for Barnes. Time for Barrett now. Working on a spare, really needs to bury one in.
The roar says it all from Team Europe supporters inside the Metrodome. They double as Dom Barrett supporters almost.
Well, it's friends and family. They're the domination, the dominator is Dom Barrett.
3 frames, 2 strikes for Dom.
Yeah, much better reaction on that last shot as it was in frame 1. Barnes got to come back from the open. Needs to hit a couple of strikes at least in a row. Right,
that's the way to go about it.
Yeah, great looking comeback from Chris. He really is lined up on this lane. It was quite unfortunate that he couldn't split up that rack of pins in the second frame. Just 12 pins down at the moment. Dom Barrett seeking revenge from that last defeat against Chris Barnes, the American captain. He's working on a strike, looking for 2. And that looked pretty good to me. I don't know about you, Andy, but it was flush in the pocket and carried all 10.
3 out of 4. Happier with his business there, Dom.
Yeah, hits his mark down lane, and that's flush in the pocket. High flush shot, carries all 10. Just got to be able to do that on a very, very consistent basis. It was the perfect shot. You just have to try and repeat it and repeat it and repeat it. And this is one of the guys that can do that. Almost before lunchtime. 8 strikes in a row in his last game. Straight back in against Dom Barrett for another game. Working on a strike.
Left that second frame open though. That's why Chris Barnes is playing catch-up. Not for long if form like that continues.
Yeah, make mine a double of those. That's what Chris Barnes has said. He's just hit the double. Moving left on the approach, he's going wider and wider, opening this lane up. Looking for that angle. Getting it great in the back end there. Just perfect.
Frame 5. Dominic Barrett for Europe. On his hat-trick. Claimed.
Well, that's the repeatability I was talking about. That's 3 perfect shots from Dom Barrett. Right in the 1-3 pocket for the right-hander. Opened up the lane, using all the angles he's got.
So still that 280, a possibility for Dominic here. Striking out for Chris Barnes would leave him with 268.
Yeah, he's got some work to do here. He's really got to concentrate on this pocket. He's got to carry all 10. If he's got to have a chance, he's got to strike when Dom doesn't. Well, you could hear
urging it on, couldn't you? Go, go.
You could hear him shouting, yeah, Andy, you're quite right. Go, go was the shout. Working on 2 strikes, and the third one's disappointed him. You can shout it, go, go, as it's trying to come back up the hill. Didn't have quite enough on it. Went too wide of his mark, and yeah, he's not very happy. He's left the 2 and the 8 pin. We call them the sleeper. One behind the other. Got to be careful, must make sure he takes that back pin. Just like that. It's a good spare, but not good. Spares aren't good enough, I'm afraid. So his maximum drops to 246. And that's what the situation is in Barnes's game at the halfway stage.
This is Weber Cup 14. USA currently lead 8-6 in this race to 17. Right now it's Dom Barrett against Chris Barnes and a chance for Europe to close the gap. Back over to your commentators.
Dom looks for his 4-bagger.
Yeah, knows he's got the lead. Knows he's got 3 strikes in a row, and he's lined up. He's got Barnes at his mercy if he can just keep going.
Strikes in frames 3, 4, 5, and now 6. They don't want that lead on the overall scorecard getting any wider. Moved out to 2 again with Barnes beating Barrett in the previous singles match. Here's Dom about to exact some measure of revenge here.
Hit them thin and made them spin, and he loves that, doesn't he? 4 strikes in a row for Europe's number 1, Dom Barrett. Chris Barnes wearing his blue wristband, supporting Strikeout Junior Diabetes, a charity of his in the United States, and very well supported by bowlers around the world. Well, he's back on. It's a much better shot, but unfortunately he has two frames out the pocket, and it's cost him dearly.
Four strikes in this matchup for Chris Barnes, but he's trailing Dom Barrett here as we move into frame 7 and the business end of this match.
Yeah, potential 34-pin lead here. Dom's just got to keep going. He's got himself lined up, locked, loaded on that 1-3 pocket. A little bit of fortune, but he's managed to carry 10 for the last 4 shots. Can he make it 5 in a row?
The answer is, no, just
9.5, because he's got the wobbler there. Changed his approach there, went further left towards the ball return, trying desperately to open this lane up, give him some more angle. Hits his breakpoint mark, and it just doesn't quite get back to the pocket. It wobbles the 7-pin, but it stands there quite defiantly, doesn't it? Yes, go on. That's what Dom was thinking as well. Oh, my word. Can only be a spare. Hang on, and it does just about.
Ooh, yeah. Memories of Martin Larsson. The start of the previous session there, and that horrible gutter ball. Dom made his spare, though.
Yeah, his total drops as well.
Not much in this at all. Somebody can get on a run of strikes. It'll be key. Chris Barnes will start now.
Well, he'd like to think he would. He is working on a strike. Needs the double desperate. Needs to go 3, 4, possibly 5 in a row to finish. And doesn't make the pocket properly, and he now is in real trouble. So angry with himself. Had the opportunity there and just let it go by. Again, he's left that 2 and the 8-pin. The sleeper off the board just sails on. Wide of his mark, it's just too wide of the lane. It can't get back.
There's the same pin pattern as 2 frames ago, Cass.
Absolutely, yeah, identical ball. It's the 2-8, and again he's got to cover that back pin to be sure.
Done. Now they make it look easy. As well they might. They're the best 10-pin bowlers on the planet. 226 though. Now the maximum Chris Barnes can score here for the United States. Frame 8.
Yeah, he's suffering a little bit, I'm afraid. After a 268, you would think that he's lined up, lock-loaded, let's just get on with it and shoot another big game, but it hasn't gone that way, and that's how bowling is. Things change. The lane condition changes. Bowlers have to change with that, use different bowling balls, angles, balls, speed, rotation. Dom Barrett's back in as well.
Terrific there from Dom.
Yeah, just turning the screw here. Just settle yourself down, Dom. This one's in the bag. If you can just keep the ball on the lane. Moves to strike 28. Can't do anything about that spare column. That's there for the rest of the event. Barnes really needs to do something here, and it's a ball change, I think.
No, still no.
I think that's just going to about be all over for Chris Barnes. Tried to make the pocket carry 10 and didn't. He really needed to strike off there with about 5 in a row. So it can't be. His total drops to a maximum 215.
And he doesn't miss spares like that, there's Chris. But this may well have slipped away from him. Dom Barrett even. Just about to even up this session in terms of the duel between these two men. 4 strikes for Chris. He's left that one open, and that's the killer.
Yeah, pretty glum looking Tommy Jones and Bill O'Neill there. You can see the writing on the wall, and I think if Dom buries this one, it's all over. Even a spare will be good enough.
Dom knows it too, but leaving nothing to chance. Punches the air in delight, and it will be another point on the board for Europe.
Another fantastic shot from Dom Barrett, exactly at the right time when he needed it. Buries it right in the 1-3 pocket. No chance of those pins standing up, and it's victory for Europe and Dom Barrett. And we'll close the score to within 1. And that kind of sums up the way this game's been going for Chris Barnes. Can't seem to get very much reaction in the back end, but he hasn't had very much reaction in the pocket area as well.
Straight through the middle of that remaining 10-pin. So the spare comfortably made, but the damage has been inflicted already. Here comes Dom. Into frame 10. Strike!
Another great looking shot from Dom Barrett, the Dominator. And he's going for that 259 maximum as well. Sets himself up for 2 shots in the 10th frame. And isn't he loving this? Along with the Barnsley Metrodome crowd.
Oh, yes.
Oh dear.
On a roll now, Tom.
Like shelling peas, isn't it? Another 4 strikes in a row. The game's all over. What are we going to see from him? What does he want to do? Oh, it's a backup ball, and he's channeled it for a 0 score, but it doesn't matter. Well bowled, Dom Barrett.
Well, that indeed. Team Europe, it is back to 8-7 now. So, all very interesting. It is 8-7 now. The United States lead by a single point, but importantly, Europe have the momentum. They have won 4 of the last 5 matches, spread across sessions 2 and 3.
Coming up after the break, our next singles clash between Mika Koivuniemi and Bill O'Neill, and it is a chance for Europe to pull level.
We are at the Barnsley Metrodome for Weber Cup 14. It's one of the most anticipated tournaments on the 10-pin calendar, and it's turning out to be a very exciting contest. Here are the results so far in the 3rd session. After a shaky start to the event, Europe are now getting the better of Team USA, and they trail by just 1 point. The next match is between the Moose, Mika Koivuniemi, and Bill O'Neill. This will be a chance for Europe to draw level, and the pressure is on Europe's new captain. Before the event, we caught up with Mika and found out a bit more about the infamous Finnish bowler.
I'm the new captain, and hopefully I can show the good example how I bowl if I lead by example and fight for every shot. The reason I still bowl is the feeling of winning. It's something you have to earn in the highest level. And it's something nobody can give it to you, you cannot buy it, you have to earn it. Of course, US Open and PPA, it's the biggest title. And a couple of years ago, I won the Tournament of Champions, which was the biggest prize fund ever. In the Weber Cup, I trust myself. This is totally different format, it's really big. You come in and you have a couple of practice shots and you need to be ready. This is the place you always want to come. This is great event. It's so different than any other tournament we bowl. Last year, Weber Cup was a little bit disaster for us, and I think we need to win this to prove that we are as good as they are. It's only a couple of shots what makes that big difference, so we need to be ready those shots.
So, welcoming Team Europe's Mika Koivuniemi. And now representing Team USA, the real deal, Bill O'Neill. Our next match here at the Weber Cup, we're looking forward to it. And we'll hand you over to our commentators, Cass Edwards and Andy Bodfish.
Match 16 of the 2013 Weber Cup. It's singles. It's Mika Koivuniemi, Europe skipper, against the real deal, Bill O'Neill. We are heading towards the midway point in Weber Cup 14, and it is so finely poised. O'Neill failing to get off with a perfect start here. He's left that 10-pin standing.
Yeah, good shot to start with. Rings the 1-3 pocket. Can't quite get that 6-pin to hit the 10. It's just a fraction wide. It held out there on that new oil. Have to make a slight adjustment. Next time he's up, it can only be a spare to start with.
He'll make the spare, no danger about that, but an early window of opportunity for Mika Koivuniemi, the Moose. Mighty Mika, Europe's captain, came in this year in place of fellow Finn Osku Palerma.
Yeah, he's in pretty hot form at the moment this year. Has won tournaments in Japan and Qatar, and also in Austria recently. And gets off to the magic strike start.
Great start that for Mika and Europe. These two played in what turned out to be the penultimate match in last year's contest. By then, Europe were dejected. They were pretty much down and out. Bill beat Mika 221 over 206.
Oh, that will not help Team USA. Big 7 split in the second frame. O'Neill's gone hard through the face of the 1-pin. He looks rather confused because the first shot held wide and this one snapped up. Before the 6 and the 7-pin, this is going to be an open frame.
Oh, tried his best, but leaves one standing. And certainly it's Europe who have hit the ground running here.
Mika steps up, working on a strike, holds the record for the highest amount of prize money ever won in a bowling tournament. Won the 2011 Tournament of Champions in the United States and won a mere $250,000.
Yeah, one of the top earners around, and rightly so, because it is no mean feat crossing the pond and winning those big events in front of the big crowds, and quite often in front of the television cameras as well. Oh, he nearly got that chain reaction, just not quite. Furious with himself.
Yeah, stamped his foot as that ball came off his hand. He knew it was just wide, and it wasn't going to come back because there's oil out there. How wide that is. Just makes the head pin, and is very fortunate to break the pins up just to leave that single 2-pin standing, so it could be a straightforward spare. Yes, Mika, that now lives in the United States, he's been out there for 13 years, has actually amassed over $1.75 million in career earnings and winnings from 10-pin bowling, and that can only continue. Has to settle for the spare, but you can see how annoyed he is. Didn't take advantage of the open frame that Bill O'Neill suffered with. Just a couple of opens in the tournament so far, but a 2-to-1 ratio, strikes and spares.
Oh, very nearly gutted it.
As
Bill O'Neill here, struggling at the start of this singles match.
And I've got a feeling he may have just clipped his ankle with that shot. No, he didn't, but look at that. It's, as you say, it's almost in the channel. It's turned a little bit left on the outside. It's snagged up in the oil. And how lucky he is just to leave the 1 and the 2-pin standing. This will be a straight shot. Take the spare away, but it could have been so much worse.
Yeah, this is makeable.
Bill's had quite a decent break since his last game. He's got to be starting all over again. He's had a couple of practice shots, but the last 2 shots have not been the best he's ever thrown, and not the sort of shots you'd want to play in a singles match in front of the television cameras. You see already his maximum score has dropped down to 256. Mika looking for another strike.
A strike and a spare so far. Make that 2 strikes.
Yeah, much better looking shot. He's got this lane sorted out, got the speed right, got the distance right, got the angles right. When you hit that 1-3 pocket, you really hope that all the pins fall over just right.
Frame 4. Doesn't like it again, does Bill. He is struggling out there.
I'm sure words fail him. He has left the 2-4, 8 and the 10 off of a ball that it's coming left. It's got no drive in it whatsoever, and it breaks nothing up at all. Just 6 pins taken. And this will be, yeah, you can't look, Bill, I know, an open frame. Just the 3, and unfortunately it's 2 open frames out of 4.
4 for the championship as a whole now for Bill O'Neill. The statistics that has dragged the scores down, unfortunately for he and Team USA.
Yeah, not very impressive looking card so far. He's got room to make amends, but will Mika Koivuniemi let him? Mika must be thinking it's his birthday if Bill O'Neill's going to open up like that.
Well, Mika can take a mallet to this advantage now, which he has succeeded in doing. The Moose strikes again. 3 out of 4 now.
Time to take advantage of that open frame, and Mika has done exactly what he needs to do. Buries that one in the pocket, gets a little bit of mix and carries all 10, and that's just so great. You can see what it means to him.
Can still get his 280, Mika. The pins just aren't breaking right for Bill at all here into the 5th frame of this singles matchup.
Yeah, 5 frames gone, and Bill is looking, well, pretty much totally dejected already. Just can't seem to get it in the pocket, and when he did, he just can't seem to carry 10. No strikes at all for Bill O'Neill up to frame 5. How unusual that is. Man that's just won a gold medal in the World Championships. He was the defending singles champion. Shot a 300 game, retained the gold medal. But he's certainly...
fuming, isn't he?
Absolutely fuming, yeah. Not gold medal standard at this particular time. Getting a few words of encouragement from Chris Barnes on the sidelines, but it's in Bill's hands, I'm afraid. As is the next strike that this man is looking for. Going for 3 in a row and looking to bury Bill O'Neill early doors.
Mika beaten by Mike Fagan in the captain's pick match at the end of session 1. This is his match to lose, it has to be said, but he's left a spare there. The run of 2 strikes on the spin comes to an end for Mika.
Yeah, just a fraction high, leaves the single pin standing.
So that's his maximum, down to 259 now. He will bash the spare. No worries there for Mika.
Yeah, nice straight spare ball shot, and that's the situation at the halfway stage. Not looking quite so happy over there, are they, the Fagan and Barnes duo?
That's more like it from Bill. 18th strike of this Weber Cup.
Yeah, slightly satisfied with that shot. This is the stats of the game. Only just the 1 strike, 3 spares, and the 2 open frames. It's not looking good. He's got an awful lot of work to do, and unfortunately, it will be Mika that's got to have some trouble if he's going to lose this game. If he wins it, he's going to square the tournament up at 8 points each. And it will be a great comeback from Team Europe. Looking for a captain's innings here.
Silence descends on the metronome.
Can he go?
Oh, Messenger!
Oh, the machine
not quite.
The machine has got it. Had that machine been a bit slow, the pin may have dropped. It was almost at 45 degrees, but once that machine touches it, it's got it. It has to stay there on the deck. That pin is just a bit too slow.
It was going, wasn't it? Goodness me.
Well, I don't know, but the machine's got it, and so it stays. It can only be a spare. Please go. Oh, I thought for a minute it was going to go inside, but it's held on. It aquaplaned across the pin deck and took the 10 pin away. He stays clean. He's got the 2 strikes in the row double right in the middle of the game, and that's the most important thing. And looking at his stats for the game, but I'm also looking at Bill O'Neill's 2 massive open frames.
Yeah, crucially, nothing left open from Mika. As we move into frame 7. Right round the side that time, Cass.
Well, he's got half the pins, i.e. 5. He's missed the head pin totally on the right-hand side. Leaves the 1, 2, 4, 6 and 10. Now, he could make this, actually. It looks almost impossible. If he can chip that head pin left-hand side, oh, bounce the ball across and do it that way. So close. But unfortunately for Team USA and Bill O'Neill, who looks rather dejected, it's another open frame. And yeah, he's going to be looking for a 150 here if he's lucky. Tries to give it a shot. That ball nearly gets across, and the 10 pin only wobbles.
Now then, it's going to take an implosion of monumental proportions for Mika not to chalk up another point for Team Europe and level up Weber Cup 14. He's not going to, is he? He's not going to at all. It's another strike, and we're heading for parity.
Yeah, Mika knows exactly what he has to do and what he doesn't have to do. He just has to keep that ball on the lane. Strikes or spares right through to the end will be enough, and it will be another point because Bill O'Neill is suffering like mad now, and the game is sort of gone, and I don't think he's got the heart to try and fight back.
Well, mentally, this is the point where you're writing it off. Technically still in it, certainly as he makes the spare, but realistically speaking, not going to happen here for Bill O'Neill, and it will be 8-all.
Yeah, it's going to be the lowest game that he's bowled. It's going to be probably the lowest score of the tournament. He's looking around for a bit of sucker from somewhere, but he's up there on his own. He's got to see this one through. Mika won't help him out. Mika's going for 248. You can bet your life on it. The man that's 3-time Player of the Year, Hall of Famer in the United States, the European captain, Mika Koivuniemi.
Looking good here, Mika gets his double, still make that 248, but most importantly, it will be this blue point on the board. Bill in frame 9, got the curve, got the strike, too little too late.
Yeah, hangs on to that 179 maximum. Mika's just about there already with a couple of frames to go, working on 2 strikes. We're just playing out the frames here. Mika looks as cool as a cucumber. He knows he's got the victory. He's done the job for the rest of the boys in the team.
Yeah, 10 standing. Not going to bother him as much as it ordinarily might with this one sewn up. The makeable spare, of course.
Yeah, another great looking shot from Mika. right in the pocket, can't quite ring the 10-pin out. He's working on 2 strikes, was looking for 3 in a row, but he won't mind. The spare is good, the game is clean, and the game is won.
As predicted, spare made.
Yeah, he surpasses Bill O'Neill's maximum score already. And it's done and dusted, as they say in certain quarters.
Well, Bill strikes, second time in a row, but his form has come too late to save him.
Yeah, no strikes in the first half of this game. He's managed 3 in the second half of the game, but unfortunately he's had 3 massive splits that were all open frames, but the Barnsley crowd will just help him through this one, just to see him off the lane. Still suffering. Spare for 168. He'll be glad to get off this lane, get out of this game, and regroup at some time.
Polite applause there for Bill O'Neill. Listen to the roar though. Listen to the decibel level go through the roof as Mika Koivuniemi wraps up this singles victory, wraps up this point for Europe. Had a torrid old time of it last year. He will avenge his defeat to Bill O'Neill from the 2012 edition of the Weber Cup, and he will produce a captain's performance ultimately here.
Yeah, sails through the 200 mark. Chance to make a spare in the 10th, go 215. Leaves the 2 and the 8 pin, we call it the sleeper. He's got to make sure he covers that back pin with a high hooking ball. And here he goes. A perfect execution of the 2 and the 8. One more in the 10th frame. Going to have a bit of a trick shot perhaps. A left-handed shot. We'll wait and see what Mika's got up his sleeve, if anything. Playing the crowd is Mika, as always. It's a conventional
ball
shot
here from Europe's captain. The metronome loves that from the Moose. It is 8-8, and this Weber Cup 14 is set up nicely now. It was looking very, very dicey from a European perspective. They have dragged themselves up by the bootstraps and are now level. It is 8-8, and Europe have won 5 of the last 6 matches in the Weber Cup. Over to Tony.
Thank you, Mika. How good is this? This is just a stunning comeback. Yet another win and a great performance from you.
Yeah, Bilbao, really bad game, so it made my job a little bit easier. But I know Team USA gonna come hard last couple of matches, so we need to keep fighting and throw good shots.
You and your teammate Stuart were sharing a little joke there at the end. He was kind of standing at the side and he shouted something over to you. What was he saying?
I can't remember. He talks so much, so.
Well, since you can't remember, I'll tell you because I heard. He was saying that now that you've got 8 points, you've got more than last year, and it means we'll definitely go into Sunday evening. I mean, it was disappointing last year, but this is a completely different tournament, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And we were talking about when we get to 8 points, we can celebrate it. So we did better than last year. And we are in a great position. We are even right now and 2 matches to go. And momentum is our side, so hopefully we can use it.
Well done, Mika. Captain's performance from Mika Koivuniemi. And the teams are now level. It's been a long journey for Team Europe, but finally they are back at 8-all with Team USA. We'll see you next time.